Gins and Dragons. Let me walk you through my experience. As I fight past the opening day crowds, I find my seat amongst the other 6 patrons. It all starts off well enough. Unfortunately, it's at this time the lights dim and the movie begins. My friends, what I'm about to describe to you I call Dung Gins and Dragons because it is just that. It is a giant, heaping pile of dinosaur crap.
That is one big pile of shit.
Now, I am by no means a lore master in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I do know Baldur's Gate and Neverwinter, and this movie is banking on that. This is a film with the D&D label and the D&D label alone that uses superficial things like names in order to draw you in. But I promise, my friends, that shiny object shimmering in the dirt is not a diamond. No, it is a dirty glass bottle that a hobo peed in.
Hey, are you Dirty Mike and the boys?
It's clear from the very beginning of this film that Michelle Rodriguez is going to be the typical action hero movie muscle character. A little dim, but competent, with loads of armpit hair. Nope, not kidding. What's more clear from the beginning is that Chris Pine is an incompetent, useless idea guy who occasionally lucks into success and loves beating a joke to death.
Once the dead man is revived, we can ask him 5 questions, at which point he will die again, never to be re-revived.
Here we go. Fantastic. Where's the shovel?
And then bringing it back to life and beating it to death again. And then bringing it back to life and beating it to death again. And then bringing it back to life and beating it to death again. You get the idea. Oh, and the most insulting part of all, he's a terrible father. Not my words, the movie's. As a matter of fact, all of these things are said overtly by the movie. On multiple occasions, he and characters around him say out loud, "I am or you are a terrible father." When reunited with his daughter after years of him being in jail to save her mother, the first thing she says to him is she's mad that he's, quote, acting like it wasn't your fault. This, of course, follows her walking right past him to the surrogate mother figure that is Michelle Rodriguez's armpit hair. The shape-changing devil elf girl, whatever she's supposed to be.
What is that again? It's an owlbear.
She calls out Pines' lack of skill with the quote, "You've already made the plan, so what value do you have now?" Which is a question I would ask everybody involved with this film.
What is it exactly that you bring to this?
I'm a planner. I make plans.
You've already made the plan, so
If the existing plan fails, I make a new plan.
you make plans that fail.
And my final example comes from his dead wife, who in a flashback scene while both characters are hiding under their bedsheet from a harmless firefly, she says to him, "I've never seen a bigger coward." Exact quote. And while I would love to focus on this movie's hateful fascination with Chris Pine for unknown reasons, I must move on to Hugh Grant, who tries? Really, it's quite hard to tell with such awful writing, but even as such, he did have the few lines that were almost funny. But he's British, so it's an unfair advantage.
I was a very good toilet cleaner for a time.
Really?
Yeah, I still quite like to clean a toilet.
His character, the group's con man, charismatic, competent, almost funny, and something else. So naturally, he's the villain. Of course, not the real villain, rather the putz who gets used by the real villain, a woman, and by the end is nothing more than a joke that is defeated because there happened to be a basket of potatoes right next to Michelle Rodriguez's armpit hair. Now you're probably saying to yourself, "World mine, that sounds absurdly idiotic." But that's only because it is.
You got this, right?
I know you don't.
By the 42-minute mark, I was desperately pleading with my watch to speed up. Unfortunately, this movie clocks in at about 2 hours and 15 minutes, which, if you think about it, is amazing, as the plot can be summed up with a series of video game quests. Oh, and before we get started, you must know one thing. The Stone of Resurrection, which grants one time only the ability to one person to bring one other person back to life. So here it goes. Find the stone, escape from jail, find daughter and stone, get betrayed, escape again, find companions for future quests, stealth mission to find the vault, escape after getting found on stealth mission to find the vault, find the helmet of boogadoo to enter the vault, defeat boss in fire level, escape from unbeatable foe, return to vault, betrayed again, escape for the third time, save daughter, defeat final boss 1, defeat final boss 2, end cutscene. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the plot. The one part I did leave out is the scene after the Red Witch of the West is defeated. Michelle Rodriguez has been stabbed in the chest and dies. Lucky. But since the daughter loves her more than her own dead mother, and certainly her father, he sacrifices his one and only chance and uses the stone of contrived plot devices to bring Michelle Rodriguez and her armpit hair back to life. Which he does solely because he loves his daughter, because despite what the movie believes and is trying to convince you, the audience, he is in fact a good father. Other quick points before wrapping up. The CG is awful. The humor is terrible and relentless. The side characters, wholly unforgettable. The action is meh. And the villain, honestly, I don't know anything about her. But she's bad because she's, wearing black, I guess? I don't know. Dungeons and Dragons was 2 hours and 15 minutes of how not to make a movie. Even if the plot, characters, acting, humor, writing, visuals, even if all these things were good, which they aren't, this movie insists on emasculating its lead. For some reason. At every possible turn. And just who do you think a Dungeons and Dragons movie main audience would be? Emasculate your target audience and then brag about it. As I said, how not to make a movie. Now guys, listen to me. Despite what Rotten Tomatoes is saying, save yourself some money and a headache and skip this film. If you don't believe me or just have to see it for yourself, be warned. Bring fresh razors and shaving cream because Michelle Rodriguez's armpit hair ain't shaving itself. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe and hit that notification bell. If you didn't, I still thank you for watching, and please leave a comment below. I'm always up for discussion. See you in the next one.
Now you're just making it sad.